Hello, good day and welcome. I'm Timotab, and today I'm going to solve Vacancy Chain by Michael Lefkowitz, who's also known as Juggler. This looks like a really fun puzzle. Um, it's the puzzles the the puzzles that Michael has been creating lately have just had some fantastic artwork, and I'm hoping that this is going to be a fun puzzle, not just a pretty puzzle. Um, if you'd like to try this puzzle for yourself, then it'll be the first link in the description. And with that, let's get on with the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means that in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box, we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each. Each hermit crab has grown too big for its shell and must leave it behind and move to a vacant shell with a larger digit, possibly one vacated by another crab. Crab paths move orthogonally, can't enter the same cell more than once, and can't cross piles of rocks. Adjacent digits on a path differ by at least 5. So, what does that mean? Um, okay, so crabs are going to move um, in orthogonal paths, so it's not going to go diagonally. Orthogonally is basically the opposite of diagonal, so that would be diagonal, and then these are orthogonal lines. And it's going to go from one shell to another shell, and that crab is going to go from its shell to another shell, and um, uh, yeah, so each crab's going to move, and it'll create a path, and eventually that path will be filled with as if it were a um, German whispers line. So digits along the German whispers line um, have to differ by at least 5. Um, Also, the crab is not allowed to go through these piles of rocks. Okay, uh, I think that's everything. So I've just restarted the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shells and 7 crabs. So because we've only got one empty shell, one of the crabs is clearly going to move into it. That's going to vacate its shell, and then some other crab will have moved into the shell that got vacated. It vacates its shell, and so on. And that's actually very much how hermit crabs work in real life, if I remember rightly. That um, they often kind of line up with a bigger empty shell than the one that the biggest crab is currently in, and they all kind of move up a shell. So that's really fun and thematic. I like that. Um, so, uh, what can we say? Well, they're moving to a shell with a bigger number, and we have a total of 8 shells. I think we have 1 degree of freedom. So this is going to be a 9 or an 8, and then there's going to be some crab that'll be a 8 or a 7 that moves into it, and some crab that'll be a 7 or a 6, and then some crab will be a 6 or a 5. Oh, okay. So, going from crab to crab, we're making a German whispers line. Going from shell to shell, we're making a German whispers line. Um, let's just put in a little bit of German whispers line. Let's talk about that for a moment. First of all, we can't put a 5 on a German whispers line because if we did, what would this digit be? It would either have to be 0 or negative, and that's not going to work, or 10 or more. and that's also not going to work from a Sudoku perspective. So we don't have a shell that has a 5 in it because we're not creating like 7 individual German whispers lines. I think we're going to end up with one big one because they're not allowed to cross, and they're not allowed to occupy the same space. Um, right, they can't occupy the same space, so they're not crossing at all. So that means that if we go from one to the next, then we'll go to another one, and it ends up being one big German whispers line, starting at whichever crab is in shell 1 and ending at shell 9, which is going to be there. That's going to be a 9, because we've removed our degree of freedom. So we're going to have one in shell 1, which moves to shell 2. 2 is going to move to 3. 3 is going to move to 4. 4 is going to move to 6 because you can't have a 5 on the German whispers line. 6 to 7, 7 to 8, and 8 to 9. Okay, we have the basic plan. Now, what else can we do? Which crab is going to go to here? Right. So, yeah, let's draw a bit of line in again because there's some useful things we can talk about. We've already discussed how we can't put a 5 on the line. The next thing is digits are going to alternate between high and low. Because if, say, we put a 1 here, which is below 5, then even if we go at least 5 away, that has to be at least 6, right? And if we even if we put it as high as 9, if we go at least 5 away, the biggest that can the biggest that can be would then be a 4. So we're always going to be alternating between above 5 and below 5. But even more importantly, this line is going to be orthogonal only. There's not going to be any diagonal connections. And why is that useful? It means that so if I happened to know that this was a low digit, could I tell immediately if this were on the line, would it be a low digit or a high digit? And the answer to that question is yes, I can tell that because every time I move from square to square along the line, I am changing from high to low. But if we colored this entire grid like it were a chessboard, then all the low digits would end up on one of the two colors that I'm shading the grid, and all of the high digits would be, if it's on the line, would be on the other color, so the bishop's color. So, and that's because I'm always going from high to low, always orthogonally. So I'm always changing from, say, black to white to black to white along the line. So that's handy, and I think is important right now. Let me, oh, right, so that's our 9. So we know that this is a high digit. We know that all of our shells are on the line, right? Because that's literally how the crabs are moving. So which ones are on the same bishop's color? Basically share the same set of diagonals. So that one does. That's high. We can follow down here and go there, and that one does. And that one does. And just to be clear, these are all these are the potential If they're on the line, they're going to be high digits, and they miss all of these. So they're on the other bit of color. So these are all the low digits. Okay, so how does that help us? Well, we can draw in some bits of line. So, for example, we know that our German whisper line is ending here on the 9, and we know it's going to start on a 1. We don't know where the 1 is yet, but we know that it's going to end here. So, first of all, actually, that's 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8. So we know that they're 6, 7, and 8. And these are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, because we know this is in the middle of the line, it has to go that way. Now, if this was 6, both of these would be 1s, and so that's not possible. So that's not a 6. Now, I don't know where the line goes here. It could go like that, it could go like that, and it could go like that. But what I do know is that no matter which way I go, 2 of these 3 cells are going to be on the line. And if 2 of those 3 cells are on the line, this can't be a 6. Because if it were a 6, those 2 cells that are on the line would be 1s. So that's not a 6. So that means that this must be a 6. Okay. And now I have 2 cells that must be that don't see each other by Sudoku. Hmm. So that's not what. So at least one of these 2 is a 1, I think. So I could have a 1 here and a 1 here, and I could have a 1 here and a 1 here, or I could have both of these as being 1s. Not sure I can tell which yet. Um, but, so option A is these 2, option B is these 2, and option C is these 2. So there is definitely a 1 in one of those 2. So these 2 are not 1s. That's not where I'm starting. Ah, okay. If I'm not starting at this one, yeah, one of these 2 is going to be a 1. I'm not starting here, so this is in the middle of the path. That goes like that. If that were 4, both of those would be 9s. That is not. Okay. If this were 4, then it would be in the middle of the line, and I can't put 9s I can't put two nines adjacent to it. That's not a 4. If this were a 4, um, then nominally I could put a 9 here and here, but this 9 is preventing either of these two from being a 9. So actually, that cannot be a 4, which makes this the 4. Okay, so now I need two 9s for this. I need one in this column and one in this row. Clearly that can't be a 9, so that's a 9. Oh, that's a digit. We'll mark that in. So now this goes from here, could go there, could go here. Okay, so one of these two ultimately has to connect to this one before, right, one of these two is a 1. At some point, it has to connect to this one and then connect to this one. It might connect to the other one in between, but there is no way I can come around from this one um, without crossing the path somehow, not even coming down here like that. So, right, I can't do that from either of them. So the only path that I can use to get from here to here, or from one of these two to here, is actually through here. So this has to go through that way. Again, this one can't join up to this one without crossing paths somewhere, because of the fact that it's on the edge. Um, so that has to be 2. That has to be 3. That has to be 1. Um, so these two are on the path and are high digits. Now, that can't be 6 or 9, and it can't be 7 because 3 is too close. That's an 8. Um, that has to be a 9 because the only digits that can go next to a 3 are 8 and 9, and 8's already taken in the box. That puts a 9 down there somewhere, puts a 9 along there somewhere. Ah, okay. So where does this 4 get its other 9 from, given that it's in the middle of the German Whisper, in the middle of the path? It has to be there. That's the only place for it. Can't get it there. There's already a 9 in the box. Um, so that is orange 9. Okay. So yeah, this is either going that way or that way. Now, how does the 3 crab get to 4? Um, it can't get to it from over here. It has to get to it from here somewhere. So it has to come down this way. And we can tell that by bishop's color of a chessboard, these two are low digits. That, and that's a high digit. And in fact, I've just realized we can place some um, mark some high digit, sorry, some low digits over here. Okay. Now, if I were to come, if this end here were to attach to this 9, I'd have to come all the way around here, and then the 4 would get to the 6, and the 6 couldn't then get out to get to the 7 or 8, which is going to be one of these two. So this line has to connect into here. That is a 7 or an 8, which is interesting. That gives us a 7-8 pair in the row. That's a 1 or a 2. So we've already got 3 and 4 in the box. That could be 1, 2, or 3. But so this has to connect in here. Can I come? Okay, I can't come round this way because I've already got 3 high digits in the box. Yeah, I've got to, the only way I can make the path and only use one more high digit, well, I can do that, and then I can go either way to there. So that is orange. That's high, and that is a 7 or an 8. Uh, could those be ones? Okay, let's have a quick look at yeah, so this is going to connect to here somehow. Um, and this is going to come down to the 6. Now, if I go to this digit first, then to this, then to the 9, I've got a crossing that I'm not allowed to have. This has to be 7. That has to be 8. That makes this 7. That makes that not a 3, and that is an 8. All right. So let's see if I can think a bit more about this connection. Um, I could come down like that. That would make this a 1. This, because it sees 2, 3, and 4. And then if it went to there, that would be 6 or 7. Ah, right. That's the way to think of it. Whichever path I take, um, if there were a 6 on the line, it would have to have 2 1s in the box, which I can't do. So it must be a 7 that's on the line. And if it's a 7 that's on the line, it's got to be there. But yeah, it's got to, yes, it's got to be there. And that's high digit. So now we can mark that in. Now the only place that that can come from is there, which makes that a 1. That's a 2. Oh, let's mark that. It's blue. And then I can't go around here because I'd be putting a 6 and a 5 on the line, and I can't put, there's only certain places I can put a 6, and that isn't one of them, and I definitely can't put a 5 on the line. So that means the path goes there. Okay. We can now put a 1 there. Okay. This can no longer be a 1. That can't be a 1. So that's a 1 and that's a 1. And those are both low digits. And our path goes like this. 9 here is going to connect to this 1. And this one's going to make its way over to this 7. And the 7 is going to somehow make its way to the 8. These are interesting. Curious. And then we're going to get up to the 9. All right. Can we put in some, let's do some Sudoku. That's a 5, 6 pair. That's going to place a 6 here. One of these two is a 1. This can still be a 1 if it's off the line. And in fact, if we determine that that is a 1, that will help us determine that the line can't go into it. We have an 8 down here. Okay. If the path goes this way, that has to be a 2. If the path goes this way, that could be a 2 or a 3. Okay. I have a 7 there. I'm going to mark it orange because then it's often easier to see, even though I don't know if it's on the line or not. That puts a 7 in one of those 3. By Sudoku, we've got a 1 in one of those 2 by Sudoku. Right. What are these 2 digits? They are 5 and 2. Okay. And I don't know. yet if I'm going that way or this way. I don't know if I'm going that way or that way. Okay, if I'm going that way, that's a 7, because it can't be a 6. And I'm used the 8 and the 9. If it goes this way, that would be a 7 or an 8. Hmm. Can I make use of that? Not sure. Okay. I've got a 1 of those 3. Got a 2 up here somewhere. Okay. So if this goes this way, it has to be a 3 that goes there. And if it goes this way, that has to be a 3. Because if it were a 4, I'd need another 9 either in this column or this row, which I can't have. The next digit after this 9 is definitely a 3. How does that help? It means that none of those can be 3s. Is that useful? Bum, 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 bum. Hmm. Um, I am feeling a little stuck right now. Okay, that is 1, 2, or 3. That is just 2 or 3. Oh, made such good progress. I mean, is it possible it comes out and does that? Is that possible? If if it did that, then that would be 2. This would have to be 7, and then that could not. Yeah, 7 has to go next to 1 or 2. So no, it doesn't do that. But it definitely does this or this. It could be a 3 if it goes that way. Hmm. Well, I guess no, I don't know that means 4, because if that could be a 4 and half go that way. Okay. So this is a 3 or a 4, right? Yes. That's 3 or 4. And we know therefore that that's low. And we know that's off the path. And then this is 3, 4, 8. Ah, 3, 4, 8, and 9. Definitely with an 8, 9 in there. And one of 3 or 4. We've got all the high digits. Okay. Where does this 6 go to or come from? We know ultimately it's going to connect, that this 1 is going to connect to this 9. Okay. Can this connect straight down? No, I think the answer to that is no, because uh, if I go down here, then that has to be a 3. It sees 1 and 2 in the column, and it can't be a 4 because I can't have the next digit being a 4. If that were if that came straight down like that, what would this digit be? And it can't be an 8 or a 9 because it sees those, and it can't be a 6 or a 7 because it would be next to a 3. So it doesn't go straight down. Can it do that? Let's put in a different color to see if that's feasible. Um, no, because one of these is going to have to be a 6. Okay, so it doesn't come down at all then. That is clearly what I'm learning from that. Yes, if it came, it can't go straight down because this digit would have no fill, and it can't go down and left because because this digit would have to be a 6 with 1 either side, which it can't do. All right, so that is now a 3. Um, so, what direction do I go from here? Can I go all the way around here? That wouldn't entirely surprise me, knowing what juggler is like, but and there's still room for everything else to get past. So that's at least. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. How am I going to get down into this row? I need a 6. Ah, if the digit in this row that the part goes through is high, it needs to be a 6. And it's possible, but difficult. It'd have to be, well, it certainly can't be here. Could it be here? Um, so that would have to be 8. Right, so, right, that can't be a 6 because I can't get my 2 because it would be next to a 1. So it can't go down. It has to go across. And now that has to be an 8. So now can I go down? I certainly can. And I can be a 1, 2, or a 3 at that point. And then I can't go back because I'm not going to be able to fit the 1. It does go down this way. Oh my goodness. That's that's insane, but fun. But it could go this way. Um, if it goes that way, that's a 1. And that would be a 6. And then I would have to go back this way to make a 1. And then the only feasible next step would be here because I can't get another 6 in the row. So whether it comes down that way or whether it does this, so either does a little extra bit of loop. What I do know is that those two are on the path. That one is going to be low digit. That one's going to be a high digit. And if that's now on the path, then the path has to go that way. And that's going to be a low digit. Oh, this is so much fun. I'm enjoying this. So this digit can't be an 8. It can't be a 6 because that would have to be a 1. That's a 7 or a 9. Okay. Still don't know if it does that. Or do I? But what I do know, I think, that cell is on the path because I've got to come down here somehow and I've got to get to this one. And the only way I can get to it is through this cell somewhere. That is not a 7. And it is a low digit. Oh, and it can't be a 1 or a 3, so that's a 2 or a 4. Can that be a 4? It could be if the path went that way. And that would be a 9, and that would be a 9. All right, but if this is on the path heading to that, this can no longer come through here. So this goes down this way. Uh, let's mark up some, put some pencil marks in. That can't be a 1. That's 2, 3, or 4. That is 2, 3, or 4. Okay, if this is a 2, that's a 3, that's a 4, and that would be a 9, and then this has nowhere to put its other 9. So it's not a 2, that's a 5, because that can't be a 4. that means that this one goes like that. And that is a 2 or a 3. And this is going to be another low digit. It's not on the path. All right. Path is making progress. So we've got to come down here somewhere. Okay. And this go left. If it went, can this go up? Is the question I should be asking, as I now see. Well, no, maybe, hang on, either way. So if this were to go left, that would have to be a 6 because I've already got a 7, 8, 9 in the row. That would make that 1. Then have to go up. That would be a 1. And see nothing wrong with that. If this went, oh, if this were to go up, this would be a 6. This would be a 1. And then one of these would be a 1, and I'd go around and in. So it can go either way. But yes, there we go. One of those two is going to be a 6. That's a 1. That's not a 1. I've got a 2, 3 pair here. That's 2. It's low. 7 could go there. 7 can't go there because that can't be a 2. So the 7 does go down there. And now it has to go there. That is a high digit and is can't be a 6, can't be a 7 or a 9 because it sees those. That's an 8. Okay. Um, okay. If I go straight across, then this has to be a 9. And I go like that. That would have to be, that sees a 1. Oh, I can't go there at all because that sees 2, 1, and 2, 3, and 1, and it can't be a 4, next one 8. So that goes up. That makes that blue. It sees a 1 and a 2. It can't be a 4. That is now a 3. This has to go to the right. And that has to be a 9. It sees 7 and 8, and it can't be a 6. Can't go up because this is on it's on the wrong part of the path. At least a little cross there to remind us we can't go up. Now this digit must have come from the right, and it's going to go left or up. Like that. And in fact, it can't be a 4 because I now can't put two nines next to it. So I can do that. That's a 2. So if I were to come down, that would have to be a 4 and that would have to be a 9, but it couldn't be. So I can't go down, so I have to go across. And then that can't be a 4 because I can't put a 9 on the other side of it. So that can't be a 2 or a 3 because they're in the box, so that is in fact a 1. That makes that not a 1. That we know is on the line. It is a high digit and it can't be a 1 or an 8 or a 9. Sorry, it can't be a 6, 8 or 9. So that is a 7. That makes that a 9. This is a lot of fun. That's not a 9. That's not an 8. It's not a 3. Okay. Can this go to the right and be a 6? Or down and be a 6? It could do either of those. That could be an 8 there. Hmm. Yeah, that could go 8, 1, 8, 2. If I come down this way, then the 7 can still go up this way. Can't it? Maybe. We know that there's 5 down here. Let's do some more Sudoku, see if that will help us any. Um, oh, okay. What are these 3 digits here? They are 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. That can't be a 7. That can't be on the line. If it's a 4, it would need 2 nines next to it. If it were a 6, it would need 2 1s next to it. So that is not on the line, which means this line definitely comes down this way. And this has to connect to here, so this has to go up. Right? No, sorry. This one is connecting to down here. Right, so it can't go right, so this has to go down as well. And now this can't go here because then it would have nowhere to go, so this goes down. This still has options. So let's put some more coloring in. Those are high digits. That's a low digit. Okay. These can't be 6 or 8. They are 7 and 9, and we know the order. So 9 up there, so that's 7, that's 9, that makes that a 2, that's a 3. Okay, where does this 7 go? It can't go there because it needs to have a 1 or a 2 next to it, and I've got 1 and 2 in a row. So it does, in fact, go there, and then down to there is a low digit, and that's a 2. That's not a 2 anymore. I still don't know if this goes straight up or across. Can it go across? Oh, right, it can't do uh, the across because that would have to be a 6, and that would have to be a 1. So it does, in fact, go straight up now. It can't be a 4 because that's an 8. That is 3. Okay. I could go down to 6, across to 1. That's not 1 anymore. Let's put in the remaining digits in this box. So it's 4, 5, and 6. That's not a 6. Okay. That could still be on the par. Um, all right, just spotted some Sudoku. That's an 8. It's the only place left in the row for it. That's 3, 4, 5 from the row, but not 5. There we go. That's a 2. That 3, 4 looks back over here. That's a 5, and that's not a 5. Um, so, can this go to the left now? No, because I'd need a 6 um, for my high digit, but it can't because that'd be next to a 2. So that means our path goes up there. Does it necessarily go left? Yes, because in order for this to go up, that would have to be a 4. That's the next bit of path. Oh, this is very, very clever. I really like this. Uh, it's definitely not the easiest puzzle I've ever done, but I'm certainly enjoying it. Let's have a look at these 3 digits, which must be 4, 5, and 6. Can we make any eliminations? Um, don't see anything obvious right now. And then these two are also from 4, 5, and 6. These two are from 4, 5, and 6. Yes. Can I make any eliminations there? No, I don't think so. Uh, so one of these two is going to be a 7. which is where the 1 goes to the 2. All right. Where can I look at next? Hmm. All right. This could go 9, 1, 6, 1. That's reasonable. 9, 1, 6, 1. That's also reasonable. 9, 3. That is not reasonable. So it doesn't go that way. It definitely comes down. Yeah, definitely comes down. All right. And one of those two is a 6. But that's the definite one. That's a 1. And I've just spotted something. All right. This is a 1, 2, and a 3. That's a 4. In order for me to get a 9, it has to go this way. That has to go that way again. That's a high digit. That's a low digit. That has to be a 3 because I see a 1, 2, and a 4 in the column. I have to go down. Wait, where am I trying to get to? Yes. So this, right, there we go. That's clever. Very clever. That has to go down. I'm aiming for this 7, connect up to the 8. So the 6 is coming this way. It can no longer go there. It has to go there and there. And that's broken it. No. What have I done? I think that's wrong. Hang on. I'm not confident about this, but I am confident about this. That sees 1, 2, and 3. That's a 4. In order for that to continue, it has to go like this. It has to do that. This is still trying to get into here, so it has to go that way. It can't go all the way around because we know that this is coming this way. This has to go up because I need a 5 to put in here. Okay, let's mark those. That's low digits. Makes these 3 high digits. That has to be a 6. That has to be a 1. That has to be a 2. That has to be a 9. That has to be 8. That has to be a 3. Well, that all seems to work. That is no longer a 6 from the box or a 4 from the row. That's a 5. That's a 4. Those are not 4s. That's not a 5. That's a 4, 6 pair in the row. That's a 5. This is 5 and 6. Go. That's the way the 5 goes. That's where the 6 goes. That's an 8. It's covered. I'm not sure. So it's an 8, and which is high. That's a 4, which is low. That makes that a 3. That a 4. That's 9. And that's a 1. No, not a 1. That's a 3. So that can no longer be a 1. That's a 1. This can't go left because then it would have to go up, and I've run out of 1s. In fact, this is a 5-6 pair. Yeah, that has to go up. That's got to be a 6. 6 and 5. And my path goes up. I have to go to a 1 after a 6. Go up there. That has to be a 7. That's a 4. That's a 6. That's a 4. It's not a 4. Okay, that is a high digit. Those are low digits. Those are both high digits. Okay. We still. Okay. 5 is in one of those two. 6. 4 there. These are 6 and 7. That can't be a 7, so that's a 6. That's a 7. Path has to go that way because a 6 can't be next to a 2 on the path. So that is high digits. That resolves my 7 and 6 here. Fill in almost all of the Sudoku, I think, because that should be fairly simple now. This is a 2 here. This is a 4 here. I've got a 3 and an 8, so that's an 8. That's a 3. And that's how I complete the path. So 7 has to go to a 2, which then obviously has to go to an 8. Can't go to a 4 because it's next to an 8, so it has to go to the 3, to go to a 9. Of course, we're going to make it a nice convoluted path. But 1 to 2 to 3, around here to 4, around this long path, 6, 7, 8, and to 9. We have completed the path. That is a low digit. That is high. I'm going to complete this colouring as I finish off. That 6 is making this a 6, which is going to be high. That's going to be the 4, which is going to be low. Oh, so that's a 4. That's a 6. That's a 5. That's a 5. solve the puzzle. Little over an hour, um, which, frankly, for the level of puzzle and the kind of solver I am, I think that's quite reasonable. That was an awful lot of fun um, figuring that out. Um, despite the you know, figuring out that I've made a logical error up in box one, sorry, up in box three, up in this corner here, um, from the nine to the one that I thought I had. Um, and I don't remember how I got there, but I knew that what was going on down here felt I was much more sure of. I was like, okay, let's backtrack that and figure out down here and let this corner resolve itself, which it did, um, going all the way up into the top right corner. Yeah, no, I really like that puzzle. Thank you, Michael, for creating it. Um, I'm yeah, I should try some more of your puzzles. A lot of fun. Um, okay, well, if you liked this solve, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see some more, and I would love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.